Hey there, ready to dive into some seriously juicy conspiracy theories?
Oh, yeah.
Today's deep dive is all about P. Diddy. A listener sent us this wild YouTube video breaking down all kinds of rumors surrounding this music mogul.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it had my jaw on the floor.
Oh, it gets wild.
Yeah.
We're talking secret parties, suspicious celebrity deaths, and even a potential link to Indonesian pop star Agnes Mo. Let's unpack this, shall we?
This video jumps right in what these alleged parties Diddy throws called freak-offs. Apparently, some believe they're connected to the deaths of celebrities like Aaliyah and Aaron Carter. They even imply Beyoncé was somehow involved because of her rivalry with Aaliyah.
It's important to remember we're in deep conspiracy theory territory here.
Yeah.
While Diddy was known for his lavish parties, linking them directly to these tragedies requires a significant leap in logic and relies heavily on connecting very disparate events.
Okay, so you're saying it's more about the possibility than actual proof. But the video claims Beyoncé saw Aaliyah as a rival, and Aaliyah attended one of these freak-offs. They even suggest sabotage of Aaliyah's plane.
Right, and this idea of powerful figures clashing behind the scenes, especially women in a competitive industry, is a recurring theme in many conspiracy theories. It plays on our fascination with the hidden lives of the elite and what might be going on behind closed doors.
That's a really good point. This us versus them narrative is definitely attention-grabbing. But let's talk about Aaron Carter for a second. What's the supposed connection between him and P. Diddy?
Well, the video points to a photo of them together back in 1999, and the fact that Aaron Carter had a record deal with a Sony Music Group entertainment subsidiary, which is connected to P. Diddy's label Bad Boy Records. They're implying that Carter was introduced to a life of drugs through Diddy's parties.
Hold on, just to be clear, for those who aren't music industry experts, can you explain the relationship between Sony Music and Bad Boy Records?
Of course. Think of Sony Music as this massive umbrella company. They have lots of smaller record labels underneath them. One of those was Bad Boy Records, which P. Diddy founded. So while not directly managed by P. Diddy, Aaron Carter was signed to a label within the larger Sony Music family.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. So this alleged connection hinges on one photo and a corporate link several levels removed. It seems like a stretch to blame Carter's struggles on P. Diddy based on that.
Exactly. The video then takes another turn, claiming that Aaron Carter was trying to expose the truth about P. Diddy's parties before he died, and that he was silenced. This idea of knowing too much is a classic trope in conspiracy theories, adding another layer of intrigue.
It's like something out of a movie. They don't provide any evidence for that, do they?
Not really, no. It's mainly speculation and conjecture, preying on the tragic circumstances of his death.
Speaking of speculation, let's talk about J. Cole. This is where things take a truly wild turn. Apparently his song She Knows is full of coded messages about P. Diddy, and possibly even a warning.
That's what the video claims, yes.
Yeah.
They point to lyrics mentioning Aaliyah Left Eye and Michael Jackson, all figures who met untimely deaths and had some connection, however tenuous, to Diddy.
Okay, but She Knows came out in 2013. And Aaliyah passed away in 2001, Left Eye in 2002, and Michael Jackson in 2009. J. Cole would have been pretty young when those tragedies occurred. Isn't it more likely he was referencing them as influential figures in the music industry that he admired?
It's certainly possible, and J. Cole is known for his complex lyricism. However, the video suggests this song is a message board, even linking Beyoncé and Jay-Z to this supposed conspiracy.
Wow, this is getting very intricate. So walk me through this. How are Beyoncé and Jay-Z supposedly involved, according to this theory?
This is where it gets especially interesting. The theory claims that in She Knows that she actually refers to Jay-Z, because his real name is Sean Corey Carter. Knows, then becomes a play on Beyoncé's middle name, Knowles. It's all very veiled and cryptic, which is part of what fuels these kinds of interpretations.
Okay, I'll admit that's a pretty creative interpretation of the lyrics, but without any concrete evidence linking these figures, it feels like we're building a tower of speculation on a foundation of sand.
I agree. It's a classic example of confirmation bias. We see what we want to see and find connections where there might be none. But let's move on to another tragic figure in this story. Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime partner.
Her death was heartbreaking. The video seems to imply that Diddy was somehow involved, even suggesting he ordered a gold casket for her weeks before she passed. That's a chilling detail.
It's certainly unusual. However, grief can manifest in unusual ways, and it's important to acknowledge that. Without concrete evidence linking Diddy to any wrongdoing, it's a dangerous path to speculate about his involvement in her death.
They also bring up this book, supposedly written by Kim Porter, claiming it exposed Diddy's dark side. Was there any truth to that?
A book titled Kim Porter's Lost Words was indeed published after her death, supposedly containing her personal writings. However, Kim's children have stated that the book does not contain their mother's actual words, and that the author Jamal Millwood fabricated the claims.
So yet another layer of misinformation and possible exploitation. It's tragic that Kim Porter's story is caught up in all of this.
It speaks to the need for critical thinking, especially when consuming information online. Just because something is published even after someone's death doesn't make it true.
This deep dive is really highlighting how easily speculation can spiral out of control. Speaking of which, how did Agnes Mo, an Indonesian pop star, get dragged into a conspiracy theory about P. Diddy? That feels like a total left turn.
It's a bit of a head-scratcher, right? It stems from an interview where Agnes Mo mentioned turning down $25,000 to attend a club event in America.
Wow, $25,000 just to show up. I at least want to know what kind of party favors they were giving out.
Right. But she declined, citing that it didn't align with her values and religious beliefs. The video latches onto this, suggesting that the event was one of Diddy's freak-offs.
Okay, but that's a huge leap. Do they offer any connection besides Agnes Mo being offered a lot of money to party?
This is where it gets even more convoluted. They bring up Kevin Liles, the former CEO of 300 Entertainment, the label that released Agnes Mo's single with Chris Brown. They point out that Liles resigned just 24 hours after P. Diddy was arrested for something unrelated.
So they're linking a club appearance, a record label CEO, and a completely separate arrest to Diddy. It feels like they're grasping at straws.
Exactly. They're implying that Agnes Mo narrowly escaped a dangerous situation, potentially linked to whatever led to Diddy's arrest, by turning down that club appearance.
It's like they're trying to create a narrative where every event, no matter how loosely connected, is evidence of some grand conspiracy.
That's the danger of this kind of thinking. It's easy to get caught up in the intrigue and overlook the lack of concrete evidence.
This is all incredibly compelling, but also a bit overwhelming. I'm starting to see how conspiracy theories can be so seductive. They offer a sense of order in a world that often feels chaotic.
You've hit on a crucial point. They can be? It's like these theories provide a framework, however shaky, for understanding complex events, especially those with tragic outcomes. They offer a sense of control in a world where things often feel random and unfair.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where their danger lies. When we become too invested in these narratives without demanding evidence, we risk perpetuating misinformation and overlooking the very real complexities of these situations.
You're right. It's a good reminder to approach these kinds of theories with a healthy dose of skepticism. To quote one of my favorite sayings, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Couldn't agree more. This entire deep dive highlights how easily speculation can spiral, especially when dealing with celebrities and figures shrouded in mystery. There's a human tendency to connect dots seeking explanations, especially for tragedies.
Right. It's like we can't resist a good mystery, even if it means blurring the lines between fact and fiction.
Exactly. And social media only amplifies this tendency. Information, or rather misinformation, spreads like wildfire. Suddenly, speculation becomes perceived truth, and it's hard to separate fact from fiction. It takes conscious effort to step back and critically evaluate the information we're consuming.
So after diving headfirst into this world of P. Diddy conspiracies, what's your takeaway? Do you think there's any truth to these claims, or are they just elaborate fictions?
Well, I find the creativity and dedication of these theories fascinating. I'm firmly in the camp of healthy skepticism. Correlation does not equal causation, and there's a significant lack of concrete evidence to support these claims.
Right. That's fair. But even if they're not true, these theories highlight the power dynamics and the constant speculation that surrounds figures like P. Diddy. It makes you wonder what it's like to be at the center of that kind of attention, both positive and negative.
Absolutely. And it reminds us of the importance of media literacy, especially in the age of social media. We need to be critical consumers of information, questioning our own biases and looking for evidence before jumping to conclusions.
Well said. This deep dive has been a wild ride. It's been eye-opening to unpack these theories and explore the psychology behind why they stick. It definitely gives you a lot to think about.
It certainly does. And who knows, maybe there's some truth out there waiting to be uncovered. But until then, it's up to each of us to approach these mysteries with a critical eye and an open mind.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining me on this journey down the rabbit hole. Until next time, stay curious, but stay skeptical.